Hello. I'll be doing just a quick video. I'm using my phone because I am quite busy. I'll be going out in a minute, but I just want to do a quick video to record my outrage. I cannot leave the house without saying something about this. I cannot leave the house without saying something about this. And the reason coming out is my outrage that the Barrow government neglecting the victim of Jammeh. The Barrow government neglecting the victim of Jammeh. And that's why I want to say now, it's completely clear. It's completely clear that Barrow does not care about anybody but himself and his family. That's why I keep on emphasizing this, and I'll keep on, anytime I'll say it. If we Gambians allow ourselves to destabilize that country because of the selfishness of Barrow, Barrow doesn't care about anybody. Barrow will be airlifted. He will not even risk to travel to the airport. He will be airlifted from State House and out to Senegal. It's the only country likely. We have to be very careful. And I will just make my case quickly based on this compensation or the reparation from the TRRC. Let me make it very clear. My statement is not against the TRRC. It's not about against the TRRC at all. My statement is against the government of Barrow. I'm going to make a case on this. The TRRC can only work with what they are given. They have a mandate, and whatever they're given, that's what they can work with. They can try and do best with what they have. The government, it's the government that should do their part in order to see that victims receive this reparation. The TRRC already have been undermined in many aspects by this government. But by refusing to support the TRRC reparation, now what was the point of this TRRC? Because the justice aspects, we don't have hope that someone like Barrow would do anything about that unless another government comes in. Now the reparation aspect, and people supporting Barrow and talking about let's give them reparation and move on. Where is even that reparation? Reparation is not justice. It's part of justice. Reparation is part of justice. People the perpetrators of crime should be punished, and the victims should be compensated. Yes, that's criminal justice. You don't say that, okay, let's give blood money and forget about it. That's blood money. We don't want blood money. We don't want blood money. We want justice. Now, let me just first say, the Gambia government, as far as I am concerned, I know, have not given anything for reparation. No. And I'll tell Gambians the scam that Batambedu and next government should bring in Batambedu to answer why he did that. The scam that Batambedu did with this 50 million. Gambians are hearing 50 million given by government. That's not true. That's not true. What actually happened, and I am trying to look at the evidence online. It seems that somebody have pulled it offline because of Batambedu was invited at the parliament. People that can have access to parliament archives to look for when Batambedu was invited in parliament to clarify where the 50 million given to the TRRC came from. The 50 million to the TRRC came from the Senegalese government. Their contribution to the reparation, they donated it for as their contribution to the reparation. And I appealing to Gambians who can have access to these archives to go and please get this evidence and share it. But I will explain what actually transpired here. The Senegalese army within the Buyam captured, actually at the ports of Banjul, containers and containers of wood was impounded, and that was traced to come from Senegal, Casamance. And this wood was sold off. And when it was sold off, the share of Senegal amounted to $50 million. And Senegal decided not to accept the 50 million, but to pass on that 50 million to the Gambia government to extend it to the fund for the for the TRRC reparation account. That's what Senegal did with their 50 million. Now, instead of Gambia government coming out to declare this and give it out, Batambedu decided to pass that 50 million to a private account at State House, at the State House. Then they decided to take 50 million from the accounts of the money recovered from the Jammeh assets to pass on that money as money donated by Gambia government or contributed by Gambia government to the reparation. And Gambians should remember, the time they announced this 50 million to be given for reparation, why did they do it at that time? That time, Edward Singate was coming to testify. And they know that Edward would walk free after his testimony, and they know Edward would be a controversial witness because Edward would deny everything to do with Korosise. Edward would deny to take any responsibility where he would be the most culpable, because that's the strategy Edward did. You will ask me, why is that essential? Go and find out the present relationship with Edward and this government. Edward and this government. Go and find out the relationship between Edward and Tony Blair. And Edward, I don't want to name families in it, but Edward present family ties with this government. Just as Sana Sabali, his present family ties with Barrow. Now that's why we call for justice. We don't call for justice only on Yankuba Toure, but we call for justice for everyone. Now this 50 million, where is the 50 million given by Senegal? That 50 million should be traced. That was given to Barrow. That was given to Barrow. The 50 million given to the TRRC for reparation was not from the Gambia government, but was from Senegal. Now, can Gambian tell us what else did this government give for reparation? That's one point. The Qatar government, if we can always remember, Qatar government gave about $5 million for peace building. How did we account for the $5 million for peace building? That's why I'm asking our politicians to go out there, and our journalists to go out there and find out where's the $5 million for peace building. How was that money spent? How was that money spent? How was that money spent? Another one. Now, the outrage, from yesterday, I started getting inbox about this compensation. And today, Yusuf Mbai, one of the victims from April 10, 11, a student now handicapped and wheelchair bound, they compensated him $19,000. $19,000, and he have returned the check back to TRRC. I'm not blaming TRRC, doing what they have. They're using the money, resources they have to do this. Why is this important? Because Yusufa have come out and declare the amount that was allocated to him. We have the facts, but he decided not to accept it. How can this government give $19,000? Yusufa was taken to Turkey under a free medical things, and the TRRC paid for some, arranged it to go to Turkey. He have not received any meaningful medical support in Turkey. Literally, they were abandoned. They stayed there, and all of them, they stayed there for a while. But in fact, they were getting support from other means, in fact, to sustain themselves. The suffering that these youths went through, and many other people, from the day they were shot to everything, I heard all their audits, to going for treatment, not treatment, and every pain, and we heard that. And they said that all that they would be given is $19,000. Barrow is giving millions to the APRC. Executive, let's make it clear. It's not even to the APRC. I always always want to emphasize this. The executive of the APRC are acting, and we all have known the facts, on their own interests. Giving millions to the APRC executive in form of vehicles and monetary. Why would Barrow do that? If the APRC wants to recover anything from the state, let them go to the courts. Our courts are independent. Let them go to the courts and get that recovered, if it is theirs. Why is Barrow taking it from our coffers? Look, nobody can tell me it's Barrow's money. If Barrow was not a president, he would still be struggling to, have 3 square meals a day. That's the facts. If he have millions, those millions is ours. Anyhow you look at it, it's ours. Now, why would Barrow do that? When the AFPRC came to power, they impounded all the vehicles owned by the PPP. They impounded the offices owned by the PPP. I think one of their offices in Banjul was even owned by the PPP, and they impounded it. And they turned it to APRC property. The property in the OPRC bureau in Canifin was impounded from former Accountant General. What's his name again? The former Accountant General. Even though there was an allegation of corruption, whatever, it should have been proven, proven, and those assets should have gone to the state, not to the political party of Jammeh. Then what can we look at and say that was owned by the APRC? Now, but Barrow would do that. Anything for Barrow to stay, his failed political project, Barrow would do. And this is just the executive of the APRC. How many other people Barrow have given millions in order to support him, buying vehicles and everything for support? How many vehicles, vehicles that Barrow have bought in this short time? Where did he get the money from? He is only interested in anything himself and nothing else. And we are going to keep this just about the TRRC. I'm not going to talk about hospitals or other things that he could have done with this money. He have no right, to form a political party. He have no right to run for elections. It's just his selfishness, selfish interest. He's not doing it for love for country. He have not delivered anything. And already the TRRC have been undermined by Barrow. Don't have hope for anything else if they cannot even make sure the reparation due to these people they receive. Where is the money recovered from Jammeh assets? How many millions, billion, how many billions recovered from Jammeh assets? Where are they? They went around with Batambedu, and all his cabal. They all corrupted these properties. They sold to each other. They opened accounts, left the money. Yes, the money went through trust accounts, stayed in trust accounts. They work with the money and make interest on the money before they transfer the money to state. Abu Dantin, thank you. Before they transfer the money into government central bank accounts. Go and find out. Where are our politicians? Where are our journalists? Where are our politicians? Where are our journalists? The billions. And I give an example. A young man like Yusuf Mbai and his colleagues and other young people. Now, how do you expect these people to move on with their life? When the education they were meant to receive, they could not because of they become a victim of Jammeh. They economically, how they're going to move on? What about skills? What about what? They just want to give them $19,000 and they move on. What is $19,000? What is $19,000? You see, the monies taken from Jammeh could have been built into institutions. Colleges could have built colleges that Yusuf Mbai and others would have benefited and to be educated. The April 10-11 would have benefited not only to be medically to be treated, but let them have something. How many of them? How many of them ask that support they need? What about the other victims? What about the other victims? The collective, the Gambia government, if they cared, Adama Barrow project was going to be anything to address the wrongs, anything to reform the institutions. And those wrongs, the Gambians are collective victims as well. If our school, education system was rehabilitated and put to standard, that would be another way of compensating the country entirely. If our health care was upgraded, rehabilitated, today we would not have all those victims who could have their treatment. No, but Adama Barrow have the priority of within months of coming to power to buy a property in Seattle, to send the son and the nephew to be educated in America. Those were his priority. Right now, you have someone called Amadou Sane, you have someone called Njaga Sane. Now they are the power bojangs of the Gambia. These people have audacity for Wednesday night to use those powers. They assume to make sure the ferry operates at 3 a.m. up to 3 a.m. in the morning to ferry the Tobaski ram they bring into Banjul for their political project. Disregarding the safety of the operatives, operating the ferry. This is how what this country have turned out. Barrow is everything is for himself, nothing for the people. Now, can we imagine that the victims, some are giving us little, and if just imagine if Yusuf Mbai received 19,000, how much would the other people receive? Yusuf Mbai, 19,000. You have to we have to put into consideration the pain he's gone through, his condition now. Bound on a wheelchair. His future, he's a young man. His future, everything should be taken care of. Taken care of. But these people, they shared the money from the Rohingya project. You see, this is the priority. That's why Batambedi is the worst justice minister in the country. One of the worst. Yes. Because people just see the justice ministers that enable people to go to the this thing. But do you know the damage done by the lack of reforms and the things that Batambedi have oversaw? You know how many people would die because of that? And now he have this money and everything. He doesn't care about Gambia. And next minute they'll tell you, oh, I come to Gambia to serve my country. It was a blue lie. They all finished their jobs at the UN. There's no job for him there. And he was a glorified clerk. He was a glorified clerk. Now look at the situation that he left that country in. But when the money came in, when you decided to go and take the case for Rohingyas, when you already have a project that you have not delivered on, that's the record of Batambedi. That's the record of Batambedi. He have not delivered nothing absolutely. Nothing absolutely. But he ran away because he know the mess he left behind. There was no more important job than the job that he took. But they went, they got the money for the Rohingyas. How much did they have each? How much did they have each for already been paid for a job? They said, what did they do to earn that money? This is their priority. Barrow and his cabal, this is their priority. Now it's up to Gambians to open their eyes. It's up to Gambians to make sure the stability of that country, to make sure the level playing field for the elections, and to make sure the right people are elected. If not, these things will continue and it's not sustainable. Gambia will be destabilized. But I will just recap again. As I said, I am not saying anything against the TRRC on this. On this, I mean, I am waiting for their report. On this issue of reparation, I am talking about the lack of funds from government. Because of the government have not given anything. The 50 million was given by the Senegalese government as a donation to contribute to the preparation. But they scammed that 50 million, put it in a private account, and the evidences are there. And took out 50 million from the Jammeh's funds they reclaim and use, and present it as government contribution. Why did they, one. Two, Yusuf Mbai to be given 19,000. $19,000. 250 pounds. 250 pounds. When their per diem, their expenses, their everything, Barrow have been spending millions to the APRC. It's not now. The office of the APRC was refurbished by Barrow and financed by Barrow. Go and find out from people that spoke to Yaya Jammeh. Yaya Jammeh didn't know anything about that money. And they, Fabaika to Tombong Jatta turned around to tell Jammeh that, oh, if a man anonymous donor, that donor don't want to be identified. To your party leader, you still want to, keep that? This is not new. They've been receiving money, and that's what they're doing. And now it's for the grassroots of the APRC to wake up. Jammeh is not coming back. We'll be lucky to even take Jammeh to justice. Right now, Jammeh is struggling with his medical condition. He is, he's diabetic. He's come most of the time going into coma. That's his real. This thing. Anything Jammeh said, Jammeh is not telling the truth. And probably. Rambo, when he comes on Kerfatu, he will tell the truth. Rambo have not spoke to Jammeh for over a year. And we all know that Rambo didn't love Jammeh. It's all a scam. It's all because of this enterprise. Now, Rambo might even declare that he's going to join NPP regardless. Because they cannot deliver what they want. They cannot deliver the APRC grassroots. Because they are loyal to Jammeh, and Jammeh is not part of this deal. Now, again, I'm appealing to Gambians that we should be very careful. The Qataris gave $5 million for peace building, $5 million. Where is that $5 million? check was handed to Bar Tambedu for peace building. Where did they spend that money? The politicians to go and find out this. The journalists to go and find out this. Where's that money spent? The Justice Ministry, how many, I can't remember how much the money was from the Rohingyas fund. They distributed it and paid themselves. But imagine how much did they pay themselves compared to someone like Yusufa Mbai. If Yusufa Mbai is $19,000, how much would we other people get? What have we realized from this TRRC yet? What have we realized from the reparation? From the reparation. The reparation should have, we should have seen institutions for collective victims. Colleges built to say that this is from the funds received from recovered from Yaya Jammeh, and it's a college that entire Gambians who have the potential will go to. And especially the victims and their families would have free scholarships and be supported to go to. Those are the ideas we expected. But no, they don't think that far. I'm not blaming the terrorists. They're struggling to share this money. And I am glad they said that the perpetrators, victims, are not going to get a penny. I am glad they're not giving a penny for the perpetrators who become victims. That would be a lesson to learn. But guys, it was going to be a short video, and this was the issue. Gambians, let us, this is another wake-up call. Barrow doesn't care about the country, doesn't care about anything else about himself and elections. And don't believe that scam. That so-called 5 years Jammeh political party, don't believe that scam. And we'll talk about that Monday. Yes, he is attacking Barrow now, and we know if you want to infiltrate a group, you have to prove to be worthy. You have to be proof to be how to call it. You have to build a cover, and his cover is going to be exposed. Gambians, let's wake up and do something, and make sure December we bring about change and transformation. This is not sustainable. And if you think that we allow Barrow with everything that his records to pass December, what is Barrow going to do? That's an approval. You are telling me, you see, you have a student in class, the student do poorly, and you decided to give him top mark. You expect that student to work harder? No. And that's where we are now. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.